Hi ukulele friends, Lisa the Ukulele Fool here, and this is a beginner's discussion on what is a chord. Specifically, we'll go over what makes up a chord, why is a seventh chord different than a regular chord, and why is a minor chord different from both of those, and then why is it that this is a C and this is a C. So grab something to drink, get comfy, and let's talk about those chords. So first of all, what is a chord? Let's take our C chord that we all know and hopefully love. Okay, a chord is basically 3 pitches that are put together in a particular fashion. So with our C chord, we're going to take the C scale, and the C scale will be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, like that. We're going to take our C and we're going to put it in our C chord. And musicians have a highfalutin word for that called the root. Got a C chord, the root's going to be C. Then we're going to skip over the D and we're going to use the E. So C and E together, we call that the root and the third. Then we're going to skip over F and we're going to include G. And in the case of our beloved C chord, we're going to throw in an extra C. It's up an octave higher than this C. And we're going to do that for good measure. So you take any scale, you're going to take the root, the low C. If it was an F scale, it would be an F. And C, skip the D, do the third, E, skip the F, that's the fourth note of the scale, and do the fifth, the G. And then you can always throw in another C for good measure. That is basically what makes up every chord. Let's just try that on G for good measure. So for our G chord, we're going to take G. We're going to add B. We're going to add D, but the D is low. And then we're going to add another G, just for good measure. So that's why this fingering gives us the G chord. So what is a 7? Like when you see C7, we call that seventh chords. What does that mean? Well, here, let me show you. You take that high C, and in the case of the C7, you change it to a B flat. Isn't that right, Tika? B flat. And so what happens is that B flat, which isn't even in the C scale, creates a little bit of added tension. Not horrible dissonance, but we just want it to resolve. That's the technical music term. Resolve it to something without that little additional tension. So the question that I get asked by my students all the time, well, can't you just use a seventh chord instead? No. D7, barred, which is the way I first learned it. Let's take a look at these notes. This is your C, and this creates the 7 part of D7. Then you have, this is an F sharp, D, and A. So the nice thing when you do this is you get a very satisfying sound because that D is the lowest note of the chord, and that feels very satisfying, particularly then too when the 7 is up higher. And so the biggest question I have for students is, why can't we play easy D7? Why can't we play easy D7? Well, you can. And easy D7 has its useful purpose. But let's talk about how this easy D7 is different than the barred D7. Let's break down the notes in the D7. You have your G string becomes an A. That's part of a D7 chord. Then you have C, open, which is the 7th That's the one that's outside the scale that makes it that tension part. Then your E string becomes an F sharp, and then you have an open A. Where's D? There's no D in this chord. So that's why I suggest easy D7 as being a quick little. If you're just doing something quick like that, use that easy D7. But learn the barred D7 because it actually has a D in it. And the other reason is that we like to hear that seventh tone, like when you do C7, that seventh tone is the highest. And in this case, with the easy D7, the lowest tone is the seventh. So quick in and out, everybody will hear it as a D7, but it's kind of lacking as a chord. And so that's why it's easy. It's an alternate chord, but it's not exactly the chord you want to use all the time. And so let's take a look at variations on C too. Discussion here on C is to kind of like prime the pump and to get you excited about how you can propel your ukulele playing or your ukulele journey further down the road. Just gives you some food for thought. I think everybody on the planet that I know learned this as a C chord. But, or whatever they call it, maybe they don't. Maybe I'm just being ethnocentric and that's just what we do here in the English-speaking world. Let me know. I want to hear in the comments. In fact, that's the Easter egg for this video. Do they call this something else in other places in the world? It just dawned on me. I don't know. I should ask my my friends in Iran. Okay, so C can also be played like a B flat, but on the 3rd fret. It is a C chord with different voicing. Now, playing chords in different positions, just like I said with the D7, it's got a real useful purpose of getting somewhere really quickly. Well, when you play voicings of like C, you can do a really cool walk down with it. So you're using the same shape, and then it allows you to do other things with it. Plus, it just gives some higher sound. So there are reasons. I just gave you one of them. There's a lot more, but I just wanted to like kind of tease you and give you an idea of how you could take your ukulele journey further by learning different fingerings for different chords. So let's talk minor chords. Let's see if you can hear the difference first of all. Here's A, or A major. Here's A minor. A major again. A minor. D major. D minor. Back to D major. D minor. Which sound do you like better, or what's your favorite chord? Leave me a comment down below. That's an Easter egg comment for the giveaway. I'm doing a ukulele giveaway when I reach 1,000 subscribers. So if I haven't reached 1,000 subscribers, I've got a giveaway going on. Enter to win. Okay, let's talk about these differences. Get down to details. What makes a minor different from a major? It's the 3rd. Remember I talked to you that the regular chord has a root, a 3rd, and a 5th, and then sometimes you get that extra octave thrown in there of the root. But in a minor chord, it's the 3rd that has been lowered a half step. So when you lower something a half step, so for example, this is a C. If you lower it a half step, you just move 1 fret up your neck. C, and you lower it a half step, and it's a B. In the case of A, you've got a C sharp here. An A chord is made of A, C sharp, and E. And so A major has a C sharp, which is your first fret on your C string. But to make that an A minor, we lower that from a C sharp to a regular C, and we get an A minor. So that's what you need to know at this point about what's the difference between major and minor chords. It's the third, and the third is always a half step lower. Hope that expands your knowledge of chords and gets you further on your journey as a ukulele player.